What's up, everybody? It's Hall of Heroes time again, and of course, this month, Come To Us decided they were going to be super generous and give us the best arena offense monster, the best RTA monster, the best dungeon farmer. Oh my god, all wrapped up into one. Today, we have, I can't say that with a straight face, we have the Hall of Heroes this month for Emma, the Water Neostone agent. Now, this girl, could you imagine if it was like Sabrina, though? Could you just imagine? They didn't give us this, they gave us a chakram, they didn't give us a boomerang yet. I feel like it's going to be the wind one. When they give us a boomerang, I feel like it's going to be the wind one. They didn't give us... Could you imagine if it was Sabrina, though? I'm just saying, could you imagine? Anyway, it's not Sabrina. It's Emma. This girl was so hyped when she first came out. People loved her. It was a different game back then. It was a different meta. It was... You were able to do things slow and not aggressively. And it was like slow but steady as long as the runs work. And nowadays, it's like, how fast can you do it? You need to do everything in 22 seconds, otherwise you're gonna fall behind. Like, it's ridiculous nowadays. So anyway, she is less meta relevant than she used to be. She used to be actually a pretty... If they gave this to us years ago, closer to when she first came out, everyone would be so hyped about this. But since the meta has shifted and it's so demanding on farming things fast, getting things done fast, she's kind of not as relevant as she used to be. So anyway, it's this weekend that we get her. Let me take a look at... I have her built. I have Emma built. She's not a bad unit everywhere. She's just become less meta relevant. Is it this one? This one! There we go. Just trying to find the right button. So this is my Emma. She's transmog too. Bale doesn't have all his monsters transmog because he'd rather buy re-up packs than transmogs. Generally, I mean, I want the transmogs too. It's just like there's only a finite amount of money. It's not just money falls from the sky. You always think it does, though. You guys always think it does. Anyway, here's how I've had her ruined. She's actually a decent unit in a few different areas. The main area that I feel that she's good is Guild Siege. She's definitely a decent unit in Guild Siege. Let's take a look at what she does, though. And how she's ruined. I have her ruined speed, HP. You want to ruin her fast, tanky, and some accuracy because she does need it for first and second skills. A lot of people don't really focus too much on the accuracy. No pun intended. Focus on the accuracy. A lot of people don't focus on the accuracy too much, but I feel like she's flexible enough that you can use accuracy. You kind of want... I want the accuracy on her, man. But anyway, she's just speed, HP. This is only plus 10. She's speed, HP. Violent Will, standard support unit build. Nothing crazy exciting about the, like, oh my god, you put crit damage on her. No, it's not one of those situations. Preemptive strike, first skill, double hit, glancing hit. Okay, I mean, it's just a glancing hit, but whatever. Second skill, cutting magic. I think this is isn't this a double hit? I think this is a double hit. So double hits, I mean, Necro, but just twins. Fran wasn't even around when this girl came out, so different meta. This is interesting though. Removes all beneficial effects on the target. Removes all beneficial effects on the target. That could be nice. We know that strips are good. We know that strips are relevant. If there's 2 or more beneficial effects removed, the attack bar of all allies will increase by 20% each. Full strip, single target, full strip into attack gauge boost. Where else do we see that is a viable skill to have? Orion. We see a viable skill for Orion. And people like to use Orion. Of course, he defense breaks into that, so we still need something to come in and defense break on top of that. But this is not a bad second skill because it doesn't just strip, it strips and then attack gauge increases. So you strip and then your team gets the next turn to come follow that strip up with defense break and damage. Or like let's say for example you want to pair her up with a Ciara for like Guild Siege, right? You have her, you have Ciara. You go first, you get the cutting magic. Maybe the enemy has a Wusa. Let's say the enemy has a Wusa, Feng Yan, Rakan, right? Let's say, because you've seen that defense before, I'm sure. So let's say you come in, you get turn... Well, Wusa gets turn 1 because it's Wusa. Cutting magic, she comes in, she cutting magics, ping ping, on one of the units, right? Everyone on your team increases attack gauge. Ciara moves next. Ciara's like, hey, you know what? I would like to put a bomb on something because it was just stripped Now I get a turn, because attack gauge increase. Let me put a bomb on something, let me nuke something. I actually love to use her. I don't even use her with Tiara, but I love to use her against the Feng Yan, Wusa, or Khan defenses with like a bulldozer. She's a great combo for Guild Wars. Against those defenses with something like a bulldozer works really, really great. And you see, I mean, you see those defenses at some levels. It's not that bad. And she's got a Guild War leader skill as well. Resistance, which is a fake leader skill, but she's really not good for Guild War defense. Don't get me wrong. She's not good for Guild War defense, but she's good for offense, like especially with like a bulldozer or defense-based DPS units. And then we have the medical support, heals all allies by 30% of your max HP. So you want her to be tanky. You want her to have a lot of HP. And increases, but also fast, because she's a support unit, should always be fast, and she's a stripper, which should always be fast too. So you even want more speed than this. This is just what she had on her, but you want even, I mean, optimally even more speed on this. For mid-game, it's fine, I'm sure. Skill generates a shield that lasts for 2 turns, is equivalent to half of the excess heal. Okay, shield for half of the excess heal. So even if you don't need, you can use this aggressively, even if you don't need the heal, you get the shield, you get the defense buff. It's not bad. It's not bad to prevent yourself from getting super crazy nuked, right? I mean, unless the enemy has a stripper, then well, a lot of things are irrelevant. Like all buffs are irrelevant when you have a stripper. But she has the resistance lead too. So anyway, I feel like she's most viable in Guild Wars, to be honest. I also did give her a report card. Brace yourself, it's not looking great for Emma, but that's mainly because we have progressed to a very fast meta, and the best things are, I mean, if you're early game, she might do wonders for you, right? She's very she's a nice healer, she's got the strip, it's not bad for you, but if you're mid game, you're going to use her for Guild Wars, and maybe that's about it. But she's a decent enough unit for Guild Wars. Like, if you have the resources and you're like, I don't know what's a 6-star, but I need some more stuff for Guild Wars and Guild Siege. Then that could definitely be a decent unit. Because I mean, Bulldozer's great there, and she works the best in Guild Siege, to be honest. Anyway, let's take a look at her report card. There's not a lot of good grades. There's not a lot of farmers. She can do it. She can farm Feynman, but do you want to farm Feynman for 2 minutes in 2019? No, not really. Giants, yeah, she's good. She's good at Giants. She could do Giants, but not fast enough, right? So as a part of a first Giants team, if you don't have a good Giants B10 team yet, and you're like, I'm early game, I'm failing Giants B10, Emma's gonna be, that might be actually what you need. Because she's got that glancing is gonna be nice. The strip of the attack power buff of the Giant is gonna be nice. And also the shield and the defense buff is gonna be nice. That's gonna be a great unit for Giants for early game, of course. Dragon, she could be usable in, because remember, strips the immunity. If you have it skilled up, it's usable in 3 turns. 3 turns is not a whole lot of strips that'll give you, but it's still better than nothing. If you have a secondary stripper in there too, then that's going to be much better. I really run her with a secondary stripper if you're going to use her in Dragons. But for early game Giants and Dragons teams, Necro you can, because she has multi-hits too, and she has the sustain, you want a lot of, but I mean late game Twins, late game Lucian, late game all the other DPS stuff, she has no place in late game dungeon farming. I'm sorry, but she has no place in late game dungeon farming. You need to go aggressively and fast, and she's really like, she's only good for early game stuff for that. TOA, fast and aggressive. Fast, aggressive, control, dots, bombs, nuke, twins, again, twins. But there's really, aside from, I know some people like to use like slow and steady weird things with Chasun and Wusa for TOA. She's similar in that vein, but I also don't like that vein of things. I just don't like the way that you should be outspeeding and controlling them and keeping them controlled for TOA. You should have no need to really heal at all. So I don't really see any use for her in TOA, but I know some people will do it and be like, she can be good. Like, I would just go faster and more aggressively and control and damage. Raids, R5. What are we going to do with her on R5? She's got a glancing hit. Okay, first skill. Second skill, she's going to strip buffs. There's no buffs on the raid beast, the raid boss. And then she's got a, she seems good. She's got, I mean, the leader skill is not global resistance. It's just for Guild Wars. She seems good with that third skill. You gotta keep yourself tanky, defense buff and a shield. But that's only, like, that's just going to make the boss strong. He's gonna suck that up and he's gonna heal. So really not a good, Lisa's much better than her for raids. Not a good raid unit. Rift Beasts, no. Why? For healers for Rift Beasts, you also have the option to do Fran and Colleen. Both of those have attack power buffs, which are much more relevant. Rift Beasts, it is like, you know those things at carnivals where you have the big hammer and you're like, ugh. No, it's like a thing and you hit it and it goes up. I don't know what it's called. It's a thing you hit and it goes up. It's just to see how strong you are. That's what Rift Beasts are. You want to do as much damage as possible. You want attack power buff, consistent attack power buff. You want defense break. You want brand. You want big burst damage. She takes up a spot that does not really do much of anything that helps that. So there's no point in her in Rift Beasts. There's no point for her in Rift Beasts. But you can sustain longer. But that's not what Rift Beasts are for. Rift Beasts are for big burst damage fast. That's what Rift Beasts are for. That's the whole game plan behind Rift Beasts. Like I said, the meta's changed. Guild Wars and Siege, though, she's great. Guild Wars and Siege with Bulldozer, with Copper, she's a decent unit. She's actually, I would say, above decent unit. She's pretty good for Guild Siege. That's the only place that I've used her for, like, in the past year even. Dimensional Hole, I think she's not that bad in Dimensional Hole either. Depends, because you're not even, it's not so much about farming super fast in Dimensional Hole. It's about just making sure that your energy doesn't go to waste. If you have to do it like 20-30 seconds longer, then that's fine, as long as you're not wasting your Dimensional Hole energy. And for some of the Dimensional Hole stages, like, there's a few different ones. But for some of them, she's actually a decent unit for that. So, could help you in Dimensional Hole, could help you in Guild Siege. RTA, there's some, the second skill strips and attack gauge increases. I've used her in RTA. I've done gimmick playtime, put her on Swift, super duper fast. It does work sometimes. It's not going to get you Dyke G3 or anything, but you could make it work. You could catch people off guard a little bit as a fun gimmick thing. Not as effective as many other units in RTA. There's just other things that bring so much more utility for RTA, and you gotta, every little bit of power is amplified in RTA. Like, every little advantage you gotta take. And things like her third skill not being consistently up, like, for example, the light Sylphid is consistently up with her third skill. Like, you just have it all the time, but you have a lot of downtime with Emma's third skill. So that's also kind of, and you don't even see the light Sylphid. So there is kind of that difference there. But yeah, I mean, honestly, she's just a Guild Wars. She's just a Guild Siege unit, and a little bit of Dimensional Hole and stuff for early game dungeon farming. She's not bad. So for most players, most mid to end game players, there's no, well, if you're mid to end game, you already know what Emma does. She's been in the game forever. You have like 10 million of her by now. But anyway, I talked way too long about Emma, the Water Neostone agent. I just wanted to give you I thought I was doing like a 5-minute video. I really did. I was like, okay, 5 minutes, boom, boom, have the little report card done in advance so you don't have to talk too much. 14 minutes later. Not what I intended. Oopsies. Anyway. Vega, what are you doing with your life? Just keep talking. You just keep talking. You never shut up. You never shut the hell up. Anyway. That's it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Sorry I made it too long. I really thought I would only talk for like 5 minutes. I really did. I really did. That's it for this one. I'll see you as always in the next one.